Welcome back to your thoughts of the debatable guys. I'm your host Paul Ramsey. We have my buddy Trey here with us, join us again, and we have Marquez join us again. We had a little technical difficulty the other day. I get back into this subject of the day: Donald Trump. What the hell is going up? What's going on with this wanting to take over Greenland? I personally, I don't get it. I think America has enough problems that we need to figure out on our own before we start taking over countries. Um, I, what do you guys know about this subject? 'Cause I don't really know a lot about it, but I'm tired of hearing about it.
Well, I agree with you. I will go first, and I
Mhm.
agree with you, Paul. I don't. We got a lot of problems within the 50 states that we already have, and the territories that we own as well. To be worrying about Greenland, I think we need to focus on the issues that we have in our current, union that we have, and focus on those issues before we start deciding that we want to, go back to the imperialism days and start taking over countries. I don't think Greenland and their resources provide anything good to us where we should be trying to conquering them. The same way with Puerto Rico and the other territories that we do have, they're not providing anything for us to, go and
Now,
try to conquer.
no, I know Greenland is they have a lot of natural resources, but from what I'm understanding, a lot of it's kind of dependent on the melting of the Arctic shelves or whatever. They're not they're accessible now, but they're not super easily accessible without the I guess the water, like the ice melting and the waterways becoming open. Marquez, I know you said you like was that geopolitical?
Yeah, geopolitics.
Geopolitics. Okay. So I know you talk about different things going on in the world. What's your take on this Greenland thing?
Yeah, so what I've looked into it lately is the geopolitics side of it is basically what's going on. It's got something to do as far as trade walls, as far as like how things are shipped back and forth between here and Europe, and Iceland sits right in the middle of between us and America and Europe. And there's something going on with the you know trade system that's about to change dramatically, and apparently a lot of like world leaders are racing to get the best trade deal right now, so they won't pay too much or things like that when it comes to trading things back and forth or across the water. And that's just a simpler term of what I know why, Greenland's in the middle of everything right now.
But does but what benefit right now does Greenland give to us, whether we take it or we buy it or whatever? I don't know what Trump's trying to do. I really
Yeah, no,
don't.
no, it
But
doesn't benefit anything. Like, take it or not, take it or leave it. It doesn't change anything. For some reason, Trump, in my opinion, in my perspective, is collecting a vast amount of resources for some particular reasons um, with different world leaders, and I'm just not sure why, but we just took Venezuela and the oil over there, not all of it, but control of it basically, and for some reason with the trade between Greenland and here. So, it's a big deal right now for some reason. I'm not sure why, not really sure why, but that's
so how does that affect, like, because I just seen on the TV earlier that all
yeah,
these European countries are talking about deploying military presence over to like
yeah.
Greenland and stuff, but then Trump's like, well, we're gonna impose tariffs on these countries that show their military presence, but again, I don't understand. Like, isn't aren't us and those military or those European countries all a part of NATO somehow?
Yes, in a sense, but here's the thing. Some countries are not with Trump on any of this, so they have decided to send troops to like Greenland to help them, and Trump is basically saying whoever helps Greenland is considered against us. So we're gonna come for you too, in a sense. And I know the Danish, they just sent they sent a couple guys over there now, and so I just know Danish is Greenland's big ally right now. But yeah, like some world leaders are just saying, we're going to help Greenland, but Trump is saying if you do, it's you're against us, basically.
But does Greenland actually want to be bought, or like, because like Venezuela, obviously Venezuela didn't want to be. I really don't know, because some people say
Yeah.
Venezuelans, aren't happy, but then there's posts, pictures online of people saying thank you for taking, taking our leader and
Mhm.
removing it from the country. We can be a free country, but I mean, what was the purpose of that?
I mean, the purpose of that is basically, control over the oil, control over oil. Even, I mean, let's say that the president of Venezuela was involved in drug trafficking. It's kind of like the norm over there. There's a vast amount of politics, involved in, drug trade in Venezuela and that part. And I'm not saying this is, you can fact check me on any of this, but I just know for a fact that they're happy about, oh, we're not going to have to deal with the cartel for, as hard as we've been over the last 20 years, because, Trump has taken over the country in a sense. But in all hindsight, that Trump is just there for the oil and to control how it moves back and forth from here and there. So it doesn't really affect them in the sense. I'm not really clear on
I
why
mean,
they're so happy about it, but I just know it may put halt to a lot of cartel activity there.
and the oil's cool, but if my gas is at 95 cents a gallon soon, then they can have it back. I don't want it.
Right, right, and that's the thing. It won't make sense to us, maybe in the next year or so. But right now, it won't make sense to us. No gas prices are going to fluctuate because of this. They're going to hoarder all this oil before they actually, because Trump is Trump. He just wants to say he has.
Exactly.
And
And
and the
go ahead, Dre.
I was gonna say the big companies like the BPs and the Exxons and the Texaco, they're getting upset with it as well because they're losing money since they have that oil reserve down there in Venezuela. The big companies, they're not making the money that they used to making. So it's like they're lobbying in DC right now to get that. It's a lot of scribbling going around with the lobbyists, and they trying to lobby the Congress to get back to where Venezuela can have control over their own country because now they're scrambling because they're in jeopardy of losing a lot of money as well with this. Uh, United States taking over Venezuela for this current time frame.
Yeah, exactly. For the current time frame too, we're just there for a second, but who knows how it's going to look next year? But we're just
Exactly.
there, for the
So
time.
in the long run, though, I get that this is all happening in such a short amount of time. But what happens in 2.5 years when Trump isn't in office anymore? Because there's a lot of people that I feel like we're starting all these problems with, like, and I know Trump's showing America's power because we, by far, I feel, America is the most powerful country in the world when it comes to a military presence. And if we really wanted to, we could blow any country off the face of the earth. But in 2.5 years, when Trump is no longer in office, what happens? And when the next leader steps in and doesn't agree with what he's doing, and they make America look weak again.
Well, we owe a lot of people an apology after Trump is done. And the services, we are going to be sending out apologies left and right, and just to keep them off our back. But as far as like, as far as what's going to happen in the inside, Republicans or Democrat, who's ever the next president, it's going to be a lot more to pick up.
So, do you
Uh,
believe that if Vance becomes the next United States president, you think he'll be doing a lot of apologizing to other countries as well?
I don't think Jay would ever win. I don't know why. I
Uh,
guess I never even looked at it. I
They
never
say the
even
same
thought
thing
about it.
about
Oh,
Trump.
what if JD Vance becomes president? I never even thought about it. I don't know why.
uh, what? Hey, DeSantis 2028. We got this.
Yeah, right,
Hey, because
exactly.
you know our governor a bully just like Trump is.
Oh hell yeah, yeah, yeah. No, Sanchez he's a cool guy.
So do you feel like we need to be in Iran? Why are we going to Iran right now? Like, okay, we're in Venezuela, we're in Greenland, we're going to Iran, we're probably
I,
somewhere in Iraq still.
I,
We
I
got
think I think I think with Iran we just need to take our losses with that, and and I hate to sound so blunt, but take our losses with that and understand that, this what they go through and what they've been going through is a personal thing, and we got to stay out of there, man. Because that's my personal opinion. I feel like we got to stay out of Iran.
And I agree with you with that because it's the same thing that happened with Vietnam. We came in trying to bully Vietnam because we were scared of the spread of communism, and then we went in there and fought, and a lot of people lost their lives over a senseless battle. And Vietnam never been a threat to America or to any other place in the world, even though they're communist states. I just feel like America just needs to cut their losses. Hey, we lost Vietnam. We're not going to win everything, so
Right.
stop
Yeah.
trying to meddle into the Middle East and their problems. Let them fix their problems on their own. We got too much on our plate.
well, it's not going
Yeah.
to take us a lot to do anything in Iran because their own people that took over their government, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
why are we trying to let them people kill each other? Like they're doing us a favor right now by just what I'm saying. Like we're inserting ourselves into a war that we don't even need to be in because it's them versus them.
Right. And
I don't understand the point.
no one wants to see anyone, get killed or anything like that. And like he said, just how we forgot about Vietnam, we need to forget about Iran. Because I mean, when I really even think about it, when last time you heard something about Vietnam? Not since we were there. It's
I mean,
like,
you're right. You're right. I mean, it's not something. I mean, Forrest Gump. That's the last time I heard about Vietnam.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And I feel like we just inserting ourselves into senseless battles, and then you got I know Russia is dealing with Ukraine still, and but China, the other global superpower, just sitting up there and just getting stockier, getting
They just
stronger,
watching.
and we
Just
exactly, and
what?
we're just over here fighting, beating up the little guys, and they're just getting stronger and powerful, and we owe them a lot of money too. So China's,
Hmm.
they're playing a long-term game. As America, they're trying to insert their dominance and power in the present time, but I feel like China's playing a long game with
Yeah.
everybody.
And a question I guess I've asked a lot of people recently is just thinking about all the wars and everything. Okay, so let's take it back however many years and years and years. Why don't the countries just get along? Like what started world wars and be like, wait, well, we don't like you because you're American, or we don't
Hmm.
like you because you're Russian. We
It's
all
It could
just
it could be
never.
it's actually a number of reasons for that. The same reason why Americans doesn't get along and we stay in the same country and we under the same umbrella. We even had a civil war. So I mean it's a lot of answers to that question that you ask when it comes to especially when it comes to the world wars, a lot of stuff happened in the first one and the
but
second one.
if everybody wants world peace, then why does everybody argue?
I don't really think everybody wants world peace. I think that's the ideal
Yeah.
way, but I don't think people like Putin wants world peace. I think they want dominance. And I feel like the same way with some of the people in the United States. So I don't think, the government in the United
Hmm.
States want world peace. They want world dominance. And then it becomes a battle of who got the stronger muscles. Well, we gonna find out.
It, yeah, no, seriously, it was, yeah, you know, from my perspective, it's never been about getting along. It was all about, falling in line and who's
Right.
up there and who's in the middle and who's down there. That it's like, I feel like the whole, can we all just get along? That was what like kind of what they wanted us to believe. Like, yeah, we just want to all get along. No, they have something we could use. We have something they can use, and we all just fall in that line of category. And that's just, what it is. Because I mean, in the end, can't we all get along used to be protesting. And now can't we all get along protesting has turned into let's burn this fucking city down, I think
Exactly.
like
Like what it,
it's
it doesn't
chaotic.
make sense for, especially like you just said, like burning cities and stuff down. Like,
Mhm.
you think about local stuff or city stuff where, people are done wrong and people protest and everything. I've never understood stand why you torch your own city. Um, I mean, I get
Uh,
it. Okay, okay, I'm
Yeah,
lying.
there's a
I
lot
get
of
it. I get
yeah,
it, but
there's a lot of
why?
uh
Like, can you?
when I was living in LA when Trump just got elected, that was like when the protests in LA were starting to look like back in the day, when Trump got elected and like when he first got elected. Those protests were like intense, like how it was like, when it used to be just like togetherness. And those protests of togetherness have turned into just, what I mean, fuck it. What I mean, just fuck it. Like we know we're not going to get our way with this. So let's just do what we can to, get as get as much footage as we can.
I mean, I get it, but I don't necessarily agree with the
Hmm.
acts of that they're imposing, especially because like you're making things more difficult for yourself when you do stuff like that. Like I just never understood it.
Yeah, and it's traumatizing being out there in those type of situations too. Like you don't allow, you do damage to your mental health and you know things like that. I have friends who have records now because of it. It's like,
Oh man,
wow, now you have something on your record, because yeah, you wanted to go out there for a cause, but you know,
yeah.
You making them forget about the cause when you go up there. And now the questions about why you burning down the cities, why you burning down the buildings, why you harming
right,
innocent
right,
people. So
yeah, and
the cause change.
and this has been a buildup. So
Yeah.
Trump, the Trump, sending out the troops now to the protesters and ICE and everything. This was all the buildup to that because before Trump was in office, the protests were crazy. I mean, they started when he first got in office when they started to get crazy, but then they started to get crazier to the point where, it's fair game to send the military into protest on American soil. And it's like, well, yeah, because like it's gone from this to that. So yeah, it's just all bad in every direction.
Do you feel like the news, social media, like technology has a lot to do with how people react and how opinions are swayed towards certain beliefs when it comes to stances on war and what's happening around the world and like even local stuff like protesting for Black Lives Matter or these innocent people that are being murdered because of X, Y, and Z. Like, do you feel like the media and all that stuff is pushed to a certain degrees to make you believe that this is right or this is wrong?
Oh yeah, they're pushing the agenda hard these days. They're pushing the agenda heavy, and the only logical way to do it is through media. Say what you want about Iran, but they had the right idea as far as when they knew that their currency was about to collapse and everything was going to go to shit. The first thing they do was shut off the internet. That's the first thing they do was shut off the internet. Literally
Tell our
before
secrets.
Tuesday. Right. Like they didn't say nothing. They didn't do that. Like, okay, first turn off the internet and that's so yeah, media, social media, it's the only thing pushing the narrative these days that you can see and that that you can see, like not even that you want to see. It's like that's what you see, that's what people are clipping. Like they're clipping things from the news and things like that, mostly from the news and not from the ground. And Yeah, media just confuses things.
Now, with that though, so we're gonna
Yeah.
transition into like the more, I guess, local side of it, and we're gonna talk about, I guess, who's at a disadvantage in this situation. Do you believe that social media should be restricted or monitored for kids under the age of 18? Like that way, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like to a point they should be in the know, but they shouldn't be in the know when it comes to that. I don't think, they're still innocent for the most part. Even kids up to,
Yeah.
for the most part, 12, 13, 14 years old. Do you think they should be subjected to seeing all this war stuff and, at a young age?
I mean, I believe no when it comes to other stuff. I agree to it should be restricted, but I say no because that's reality. So we don't if we we went through 17 years of our life, going through school, learning stuff, even though a lot of the information that we're learning about, we found out it wasn't true. But if we do not know, then a lot of it can be controlled. So I feel like they can be able to have opinions. So therefore when they're coming up into the college ranks and into the workforce, they can be they'll feel like their vote will matter more because you don't want somebody not knowing what's reality and what's going on, and then they turn 18 and they have the same right to vote as you, but their vote is not, they don't know what they're voting on because they've been sheltered and they're not seeing it. I understand that social media, a lot of that information can be slanted in any way
Hmm.
possible, but just restricted them, and it's not even social media when it comes to the NBC, CNN, Fox News. If I'm just watching that type of news as well, I'm getting slanted opinions as well. So restricting them from social media, where on social media you can see, this point of view, you can see that point of view, so you get all the different points of views. You could do your research and find out which side you're on, and as long as they're consuming the correct information, I believe it's fine, but I don't wanna hide them from the reality, so when they become adults, and then it's the arguments and the stuff they're gonna make is just gonna be what somebody told them. They're not opinions that they have on their own, so, like I said, their vote will hold the same weight as yours, and you'll be like, "Why is this person voting?" when they have no idea what's going on.
Okay. Marquez, you got a take on that?
Yeah, no, I probably wouldn't blind eye out there. Uh, I'm living in Memphis right now. Memphis, Tennessee is where I'm from. What I see, uh, and how I'm reacting with the military being here, and all the other agencies being here is, I'm staying home. I'm kind of quarantined in a sense where, me and my wife, there's no we don't see a real point of going out to major areas of the city, like downtown Memphis, Bill Street, things of that nature. It's kind of a shit show. You got, the military walking with the people. And it gives you it just, it's an unsettling feeling. You feel like, I don't know, you feel like you're living in a prison, like a city sized prison, now in a sense. And yeah, locally it's just kind of weird. It's just kind of weird
Yeah.
because they're not really doing anything. They're just walking around. I was at a Ross the other day. They were walking around Ross. I'm like,
And is their presence just to keep people from acting out?
basically they don't have any jurisdiction yet to like make full blown arrests, or they were pulling people over the first month, and then then they're now they don't pull people over, they assist local law enforcement with like traffic stops. So you'd be stopped by a cop, and behind him is probably a particular agency, or guys, that type of situation. It's I don't know, it's just become there's no sign of them leaving. It's just like, well, I think we're just supposed to adjust to it.
Okay. Okay. Do you feel like AI has a lot to do with the things that kids believe at this point in time? Because I mean, there's so many videos online, even about like the wars and stuff, and that the local militaries. Like, there's so many fake videos out there that are like we just talked about, where the social media and the news is controlling our narrative. Um, do you think AI is hurting the thought and the actual image of what's actually happening?
Definitely the imagery. Gotta get up to.
Yeah, definitely the imagery and everything that we're seeing online, because it's hard to decipher what's real and what's fake when it comes to AI. I believe AI is a great tool when it's used right. But it's in its infancy right now. So, and that's it's already confusing folks. And I know you're speaking about young kids, but grown kids as well, and people our age as well. They're getting confused about if it's AI or if it's real right now. So in AI, like I just mentioned, it's in its infancy. So when it continues to grow, it's going to be harder to decipher what's real and what's fake. So I believe it's hurting imagery, it's hurting thought process, it's hurting intellect, it's hurting everything. I was just thinking about, if I had this, I don't even know how the teachers in school these days are able to teach anymore, because I can just, hide my phone and I could have a math problem figured out for me in 5 seconds, or I could have a question answered for me in a couple of seconds. So it's hurting the overall learning process. And as it's interesting right now, a few of the information that you use AI for is incorrect. So, and then people are running with that information they get from AI, even though it's wrong. And a simple, traditional Google search will tell you that it's wrong. But a lot of people have seen it and they've taken it as fact. I can get on Twitter. Grok, it can be a fairly simple question, and somebody is like, "Grunch, is this true?" So I feel like it's just hurting the overall thought process and the intellect of people, and the young people that's coming up with the AI. I feel like they're gonna their growth is gonna be stunted because of it.
Because they're using technology to cut corners.
Yes, and I think they're cutting a lot of corners.
I think honestly, and I tell people all the time, I wish I can go back to the days where we had a flip phone and kids had to press the same button 17 times to get to one letter to text, and we didn't have smartphones. You had to pay for internet if you wanted it to, like, to scroll on your phone. Like, we didn't. Like I said, I think technology has made people dumber. It's definitely, it's caused, issues, and I think, like you said, learning, stunning growth, um, causing more dependency
Hmm.
for certain things. They're wanting to use Chat GPT and all these things to create papers, and when they put, because they just don't want to do the work.
Exactly.
And I think that, for us looking back at it, we're like, man, y'all got it easy. Like, y'all got all these tools that can help you. We actually had to go back and read through books and
Exactly.
actually
Research.
do the research and, like,
Hmm.
actually try to figure these things out. And y'all just flip your phone open and type in Google, and it gives you everything you need right there. I don't know if you remember, what was that one called? The website before, it was Ask Jeeves before Google.
Oh, yeah, I think that was a little bit before my time.
Oh, man, Ask Jeeves, man, was the Google before Google. And I guess we lost Marquez. I Do you know anybody, while we're having a side conversation? Do you, other than yourself probably, do you know anybody that wants to talk about science and the Bible?
Um, um, yeah, I'm open. I'm leaning more towards, I believe, I don't have a religion that I follow, but I believe in God. I believe in the teachings of the Bible and certain aspects of it. But the Big Bang Theory and the science part of it, I'm like 100%. No.
I gotcha. Well, that might be a good conversation for us then,
Hmm.
because I'm more science backed on this particular subject. I mean, I grew up in the church, but
Hmm.
it's, as you get older, just like we tell the kids, as you get older, you're going to form your own opinions. You're going to believe what you want to believe. Obviously don't let them tell you otherwise. You still believe what you want to believe, but it's like we've been watching this, CSI show, and the evidence will lead you to the truth.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's just one of those things.
And my
But
big issue when it comes to religion, is that whether you believe it or not, I just don't like the people on both sides of it. Well, I gotta be attacked because I believe in something different than what you
right,
believe. And then you
right,
gotta bring down what I believe in. Like if you don't believe in God and you're allowed to have that opinion, but to sit there and antagonize somebody and call their what they believe in sky daddy or fairy and stuff like that, I don't agree with that part. And then with the religious people putting down people, saying you're going to burn in hell, you're going to go to hell, you're going to be on fire for it, eternity. I don't believe that's right either as well. But like I said, that'll be a great conversation.
yeah, yeah, okay. Well, we'll definitely get into that next time, just because
Hmm.
I want it to be like not necessarily. I want multiple opinions, and if some people agree, some people could agree. Some people have different opinions and beliefs, or they might even have a different way of thinking. So they can kind of back their how they feel about it. But hopefully we can get into that in the next week or.
But yeah,
But
I'm helping it to get it grow, even if it's something that I'm not on. I try to I subscribe to your channel on my own, telling people about both of your podcasts you got going on.
yeah, I share them constantly. I mean, they don't have to like add me on Snapchat or Facebook or nothing like that to follow, but if they just want to click the subscribe button and, keep up, and if they have, I mean, I try to put in the comments if you guys want a topic y'all want discussed, or you want to come at, me or me and you or me and whoever with the subject that y'all want to talk about, and, because you believe one thing and we don't. I mean, again, let's talk about it. Yeah. That's the whole point of the show. Your thoughts are debatable, and everybody has an opinion. But all right, Trey. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Who you got? Miami or Indiana?
I gotta go with the Florida team. Like I mentioned
Okay.
earlier, I believe it's going to be a high scoring affair. It's going to be nonstop action. I'm gonna roll with Miami.
Okay. All right. Well, I will text you tomorrow, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, while I'm in the casino, I'll be able to make a bet.
What part of New Mexico are you going to?
I'll be in Albuquerque.
Okay, Albuquerque.
Yeah, yeah. We're actually staying at the casino there, the Sandia Casino.
Okay.
So hopefully, I could place a little bet and see if I could win some money before I leave there.
Yeah, definitely be safe out there as well. Albuquerque. They got a lot of stuff that they got to get figured out when it comes to their city as well. I think that's
Yeah,
a under. I think that's a under rated gem in this country is New Mexico.
there
When I was
there's
there a few
really
years.
there's really not a lot in Albuquerque. I mean, other than the
Hmm.
mountains and stuff, there's really not a lot to do there.
Yeah.
But it is.
Um.
I got family there. I mean, this is actually the third time I'm going to be there in like the last 8 months.
Okay.
Oh, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I
You
was
know
like,
anybody out there?
I don't even know nobody out there. I was there for not even. I was there for about 48 hours, a little bit over two
Nice,
days. A few years ago for on a work assignment when I was doing some
nice.
hydroblasting. But yeah, I was about an hour and a half from Albuquerque. But yeah, I'm from Florida, so when I see mountains, to me mountains are everything to me
Now they
because
cool. Yeah, yeah.
yep, I grew up in a flat area near the beach. So when I see mountains, I think the mountains are beautiful. Just like for somebody who never seen the beach, they come to the beach and be like, "Oh, this is so cool."
Yeah, we were just there in October for the balloon festival. You ever been to the
Oh
balloon
wow.
festival?
Mm-mm.
It's in October. It's like 10 days long. My uncle and all his daughters, they work it every year. They're there from sun up to sundown, working it, working it, working it. But we're gonna try to go back this
It's like
next year.
hot air balloons.
Yeah, there's hundreds of
Okay.
them. Yeah, it's so cool. You just have to look it up. I got some pictures and stuff.
Mhm.
But we'll yeah. But all right, man. Well, it's good having you. I'll get back with
Yeah.
you in a couple of days.
Yeah, yeah, I hope you have a safe travel, and I feel like this was a good discussion, a good topic to talk about as well. So can't
Yeah,
wait
I'm
for it
gonna
to come out.
yeah, I'm gonna get a couple. I want to get a couple people together. I want to talk about, like I said, the creation and all that stuff, and see if we can get. I mean, I'm not deliberately trying to make a heated conversation, but I want to, like you said, that first episode or two. These have been mild
Yeah.
topics. I want to get a heated debate going. So don't want to hurt no
Yeah.
one's feelings, but
Mhm. Yeah, I'm ready for that as well. It seems like majority of we've been agreeing. So if we can get somebody that has a different opinion,
right.
then we can have a discussion.
All right. Well, I'll holler at you. Be safe, and who's your nation?
We will see. You be safe as well.
All right, man. I'll see you
All right,
later.
later.